Hello students, in the last class we discussed the algorithm for testing of prime numbers. Before that we saw the relation between GCD and LCM, which is a product of GCD and LCM is equal to product of those two numbers. Then we saw the algorithm for finding whether the given number is a prime number or not. Right, this is the algorithm. So first we have to verify whether the given number is 2. If it is 2, then it is directly prime number. If it is not 2, then go to the next step. In step 2, we have to check whether 2 divides n or not. If 2 divides n, then it is not a prime number. If 2 divides n, then it is not a prime number. If 2 does not divides n, then go to the next step. In the next step, we have to collect all the prime numbers p such that which satisfies the condition p less than or equal to root n, or the same thing can be written as p square less than or equal to n. Right? P square less than or equal to n. We have to collect all those prime numbers. Suppose if that set of prime numbers does not exist, then we say that which is a prime number, we stop the procedure. If suppose we are collecting such type of prime numbers, that is p square less than or equal to n, then go to the next step, that is in step 4, we have to check again whether p divides n or not. If p divides n, what about p? Where we are getting that p? That p is the obtained in step 3. If p divides n, then n is not a prime number. If p does not divide n for any prime number p which is obtained in step 3, then n is a prime number. So in the last class already we discussed one problem. Now we see the next sum. Determine whether the integer 287 is prime or not. Right? Let n is equal to 287. So in step 1, we have to check whether n is equal to 2 or not. Clearly, n is equal to 287, not equal to 2. So go to step 2. In step 2, we have to check whether 2 divides n or not. So clearly 2 does not divide 287 because 287 is an odd number. 2 does not divide any odd number. So in that case we have to go to next step. In step 3, we have to collect all the prime numbers p such that p square less than or equal to n. What is n value here? N is 287. So start with the first prime number which is 2, because 2 square 4 is less than 287 clearly. The next prime number is 3. 3 square is 9, which is less than 287. Next prime number is 5. Clearly 5 square 25 less than 287. Like that we have to collect all those prime numbers which satisfy the condition p square less than or equal to n. Right? Next prime number 7. 7 square is 49 less than 287. Next prime number 11. 11 square 121 less than 287. Next prime number is 13. 13 square So 169 less than 287, right? This is 7. Next prime number is 17. 17 square 289 not less than or equal to 287. So now we have to collect these set of numbers. What are those p values? 2, 3, 5, 7, next one 11, next one 13. These prime numbers satisfy the condition p square less than or equal to n. Right? If such type of prime numbers are existing, then we need to go to step 4. If such type of prime numbers are not existing, then stop here in step 3 and we can conclude that n is a prime number. So because such type of prime numbers exist, so go to step 4. In step 4, we have to see whether p divides n. What is p? P is the prime number obtained in step 3, right? So clearly, first prime number 2 does not divide 287. Next prime number, see here, whether 3 divides 287, divides means here the remainder must be 0. Means the value must be perfect integer. Right? 3 also does not divide 287. Next see whether 5 divides 287 because 1's place digit is 7. So 5 does not divide 287. Next, is 7 divides 287? Yes, 7 divides 287. Right? Because such type of prime number exists here, such type of prime number exists here, from step 4 implies there exists prime number p which is equal to 7 such that p square less than or equal to n and p divides n implies from the algorithm n is equal to 287 is not a prime number. Why this algorithm is useful means to test any prime number which is the larger number. So to test whether it is a prime number or not, it is very difficult. Otherwise, if you use the computer, you have to develop some algorithm, and by giving the input to that computer, just a number, and we have to decide whether that number is prime number or not, so that this algorithm is useful. Next one, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What is the statement? Any integer n greater than 1, right? Integer is more than 1, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, any number, can be expressed uniquely as a product of primes up to the order of the factors, right? So more precisely means more clearly, any integer n greater than 1 can be expressed as n is equal to p1 into p2 into so on pu, where all these numbers are prime numbers, right? Just we take one example. Suppose if we take 84, all of you know how to find out the factors of 84 by using the direct method or by using this one. So clearly it is an even number. If you take 2, it is 42 times. Again it is an even number, it is 21 times. You know that 3 is a factor of 21. Right? So 84 can be written as 2 into 2 into 3 into 7, which is 2 square into 3 into 7. We call this as prime factorization of n. So any integer can be expressed as product of primes up to the order of the factors. This is the unique way. This means that suppose for any number n, you have two representation p1 into p2 so on. Pu, this is one representation. Second representation is, and n is equal to q1, q2, so on qb, where pi, comma qj are prime numbers. Right? What about I? If such type of representations, we have two such representations exist, in that case, we are saying that unique representation. So, by reordering these prime numbers, we must get u is equal to v. These numbers must be same. And some pi must be equal to qj. See here. First I write 84 is 2 into 2 into 3 into 7 into, also I can write into 1. But into 1 here, no precise of that into 1. Into 1 is there or not, we get the same meaning. So what is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? Any integer can be expressed as uniquely product of prime numbers. Right? See the next one. Standard factorization of n. So the representation of n is equal to p1 power r1, p2 power r2, so on pk power rk. Like that. In the previous one, 84 can written as 2 square into 3 into 7, where 2, 3, 7 are prime numbers. Each base number is a prime number. So where ri, that means this power value is greater than 0. I is equal to 1 to k. Each pi is prime integer, right? Here 2, 3, 7 are prime. The same thing can also write it as 84 is equal to 4 into 3 into 7. But it is not the standard factorization. Our condition, each number must be prime. 4 is not prime, right? So we can't write like this. So we must write it as unique representation, means product of prime numbers only. No need to write, that means we cannot write as composite number. Right? So pi not equal to pj for I not equal to j. Now see the first problem. Find the standard factorization of 7875. So let n is equal to 7875. Because the ones place the value is 5, so start with 5. 5 ones 28, 5 5s are 25, 3, 5 7s, right, 35, 2, 5. Again 5 is in ones place, once again do with 5, 3. Again in 5's ones place 5 is there, once again do with 5, 5 6 are 30, 15, 63. Now it is clear that 3 is its factor 21 times. 3, 7 times. 7, 1 time. So this number 7875 can be written as how many times? 5 3 times. Into 3 2 times. Into 7 into 1. So 5 3 times can be written as 5 cube. Repeated number, write it in the power form 3 square into 7 power 1. Here we are not writing this into 1 because there is no significance for that into 1, product with 1. Any number multiplied by 1 we get itself, right? So this is the standard factorization of 7875. Like that we have to do the factorization where each number 5, 3, 7 are prime numbers. This is the required condition. In this product, each number must be prime number. Next, find the prime factorization of 81, 100 and 289. So, let n1 is equal to 81. Second number n2 is equal to 100. Third number n3 is equal to 289. Right? So, we need to find out its standard factorization, means that we need to express it as product of prime numbers. So, also we can do orally because 81 is a small number. 81 can be written as 9 into 9, which can be written as 3 square into 3 square, but it is not the standard factorization, means that it must be a product of prime numbers. So 3 to the power 4. Right? So standard factorization of n1 is equal to 81 is 81 is equal to 3 to the power 4. Now we see the next one. n2 can be written as, because it is 100, all of you know that clearly, which is 10 square. 10 is 2 into 5. Our condition is it must be a product of prime numbers. So 2 square into 5 square, where 2, 5 are prime numbers. Right? So standard factorization of n2 is equal to 100 is 2 square into 5 square. If you apply the another way or another method, you get this factorization only. Sometimes you may also write 5 square into 2 square, so that they given that clearly order is independent here. Right? So you solve for this third one, 289. If it is a big number, previously also discussed by orally, if it is not suitable to factorize it. So apply this and the lower classes you solve the problems like this. So 289. What is this one? 3 is not possible. 4 is not possible. 5 no. 6 no. 7 no. 8 no. 9 no. Then 11 no. 12, 24, 13, 26 no. 14 no. 15, 16, 17. Right. 17, 70s are 289. So n3, which is 289, can be written as 17 into 17, which is nothing but 17 square. It is the prime factorization of 289. Otherwise, standard factorization of 289. Right? Next, find the prime factors of 100, 119, 147 and 544. Same procedure. So already we discussed it for 100. So no need to discuss for this one. So you repeat this 100 because already we solved the last one. N2 119, N3 is 147 and N4 is 544. Right? Already we solved for 100, same thing apply for 119. Right? If you see for N2, which is 119, suppose you have some doubt about this one. 3 is not possible because the ones place is 9. You see with 7 ones are 7, 49, 17. So this is because 17 is a prime number. So stop here. We can write it as 7 to the power 1 into 17 to the power 1. Like that you need to solve for all those 4 values, 147 and 544. it is very easy process to find out the prime factors, right? So what are the prime factors? Prime factors are 119 are, first prime factor is 7, second prime factor is 70, right? Next, see the theorem. Let m is equal to p1 power a1, p2 power a2, so on, pu power au. This is the standard factorization of m. And n is equal to p1 power b1, p2 power b2, so on, pv power bv. This is the prime standard factorization of n, right? So, using the standard factorization, here we are calculating both GCD and LCM. In the previous classes, we discussed how to find out GCD of any two numbers by using the division algorithm as well as the Euclidean theorem. By using Euclidean theorem, the last non-zero remainder in the division procedure, it is nothing but the GCD. But instead of using the Euclidean algorithm, here using the standard factorization, we can find out both GCD and LCM, right? So, if they mention the method using division algorithm, you have to apply division algorithm, then Euclidean theorem. Suppose method is not mentioned, then you can use this standard factorization method, right? So, m standard factorization, similarly standard factorization of n is given. Then, GCD of m comma n is, this pi means that which is the product of, like sigma. Sigma means we are taking addition, pi means product. This p to the power minimum of a comma b. In GCD, we consider minimum of a comma b. Whereas in LCM, same product of pi to the power maximum of a comma b, where min of a comma b represents the minimum of two numbers respectively. Max of a comma b represents maximum of two numbers, right? Now we will see the problems on this theorem. Using prime factorization, find the GCD of 18 and 30. So let n1 is equal to 18. Because it is a small number, we can write directly the product of prime numbers. Express it. 2 into 9. So 2 to the power 1 into 9 is 3 square. So we express 18 as product of prime numbers. Similarly, n2 is equal to 30. 3 into 10. 3 into 2 into 5, which can be written as 2 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1 into 5 to the power 1. Standard factorization are, for 18 we can write it as 2 power 1, 3 square. For 30 we can write it as 2 power 1, 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. Whenever we are calculating LCM and GCD, just check these prime numbers. In the first factorization, we have 2 and 3 are prime numbers, whereas in the second factorization, 2, 3, 5 are prime numbers. Because 5 is missing in the first factorization, write 5 to the power 0. If any number is missing there, we have to write as in common factors. So in that place, we have to write that number to the power 0. Right? So GCD, first they ask the GCD of 18 comma 30. What is the formula? Product of pi p to the power minimum of a comma b. What about a and b? These are powers of p. So GCD of 18 comma 30 equal to product of, first prime number is 2. Right? First prime number is 2. So 2 to the power minimum of In the factorization of 18, it is power 1, here also 1. So minimum of 1 comma 1 into, because the formula consisting of product pi. Next, into 3 to the power minimum of 1 comma 2, otherwise 2 comma 1 into product 5 to the power minimum of 0 comma 1, which gives us 2 power minimum is 1 into 3 power minimum is 1 into minimum of 0 comma 1 is gives 0. So 2 into 3. So GCD of 18 and 30 is 6. Either you use standard factorization method, or if you use Euclidean theorem and division algorithm, there also we get the same answer. Now see the next one. Use prime factorization. Find LCM of 119 and 544, right? So first we write 119 factorization, which is 17 into 17. 17 into 7. Next one, clearly 544, it is a big number, it is possible to write directly. So I am using this procedure. 544 is an even number, so start with 2. Next again use 2, because one's place it is 2, it is an even number. Again use 2. Right? Again use 2. Because 17 is a prime number, we stop there. 544 can be written as 2 how many times? 5 times. 2 to the power 5 into 17. We need to express both the terms uniquely, because 2 is not here. Right? Because any number is not here, we have to write 2 to the power 0 into 7 to the power 1 into 17 to the power 1. Here we can write 2 to the power 5. In this product 7 missed here, so 7 to the power 0 into 17 to the power 1. What is our LCM formula? LCM of A comma B is product of P to the power maximum of two numbers, right? Suppose if it is some Pi comma Pj. Now we see here LCM of A means 119, B means 544, which is equal to first prime number is 2. 2 to the power maximum of, in the first number power is 0, in the second number power is 5 into 2 power maximum of 1 comma 0. It is 7 to the power third prime number is 17. 17 to the power maximum of 1 comma 1, which is equal to 2 power maximum value 5, 7 power maximum value 1, 17 power maximum value 1, right? 2 cube is 8, which is 32 into 7 into 17. Calculate the value which gives us the LCM of two numbers. Right, see, next one is Fermat's theorem. Statement is if P is a prime number and A is an integer such that P does not divide A, then statement is A power P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P, otherwise the same statement A power P is congruent to A mod P. In the next class we see the proof for this Fermat's theorem, and then we discuss the problems on Fermat's theorem. Thank you. Again use 2. Right? Again use 2. Because 17 is a prime number, we stop there. 544 can be written as 2 how many times? 5 times. 2 to the power 5 into 17. We need to express both the terms uniquely because 2 is not here. Right? Because any number is not here, we have to write 2 to the power 0 into 7 to the power 1 into 17 to the power 1. Here we can write 2 to the power 5. In this product 7 missed here, so 7 to the power 0 into 17 to the power 1. What is our LCM formula? LCM of A comma B is product of P to the power maximum of two numbers, right? Suppose if it is some Pi comma Pc. Now we see here LCM of A means 119, B means 544, which is equal to first prime number is 2. 2 to the power maximum of, in the first number power is 0, in the second number power is 5 into 2 power maximum of 1 comma 0. It is 7 to the power third prime number is 17. 17 to the power maximum of 1 comma 1, which is equal to 2 power maximum value 5, 7 power maximum value 1, 17 power maximum value 1, right? 2 cube is 8, which is 32 into 7 into 17. Calculate the value which gives us the LCM of two numbers. Let's see. Next one is Fermat's theorem. Statement is if P is a prime number and A is an integer such that P does not divide A, then statement is A power P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. Otherwise, the same statement A power P is congruent to A mod P. In the next class, we see the proof for this Fermat's theorem and then we discuss the problems on Fermat's theorem. Thank you.